Hey everyone, happy Monday. Hope everyone's week is off to a good start like ours is. And welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialists, our little daily show here where we talk about what happened in our Volkswagen restoration shop. So working on lots of different things today. So why don't we go ahead and get started here. So I actually had Rafa help me out some this morning, first thing with this guy, the super customized 62 Beetle. So again, if you follow the channel, you know that whoever put this car together, so not my customer, but the guy that he bought it from, or whoever built it for him or started building it for him, didn't seem like they were a Volkswagen person, and there was a lot of little issues on this car. So one of which is that the metal tube that runs from under the dash about over here up to the front where the hood latch mechanism is, that tube was just completely missing. And so we ordered a piece of metric tubing in the correct size and had Rafa, because he's really good at that kind of stuff, go ahead and form and install that tube. So let's show that here. So there we go. Show you what we got here. So ignore all that wiring. That's not us. Anyway, but yeah, there's the tube right there. So welded it in up underneath the dash there, around along here, and then it kind of disappears under their upholstery that they have here, custom in the front, and then comes out just like it should right there. And then he did have the mechanism there, which was all chromed and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, it's all hooked up now. Took Rafa a lot of tweaking to get it to the hood to latch and stuff, and but finally, yeah, he got it. Latch is very nice now. Release is very nice. But yeah, pretty big job actually to go ahead and put that in. And you can see it. A little bit of a push there. So I always tell people, do not slam them. Don't slam them. They don't need it. If they do, it needs to be adjusted. But yeah, just push them down and you'll fill them latch. And then if everything is well, then boom, that's it. But yeah, lots of work actually to get that in there and get it working. But anyway, so yeah, Rafa did that. And then one of the hinges for the glove box was actually broken. They're like spot welded onto the body up underneath there. One of those was broken. So while he was welding here, he went ahead and fixed that. So I worked on this one also a little bit today. His fuel gauge came in from J-Bugs. Bought that from our friends over at J-Bugs. Little VDO one that's made to work with the stock VW sender. So yeah, there it is. And then probably been a couple weeks ago, I had my painter go ahead and paint all these pieces here, including the glove box door and the ashtray, and then this piece here, which is where the controller for the air ride system will go. So yeah, I went ahead and reinstalled all those, cut a hole in this piece for the fuel gauge there, and got that all wired up nice and neat here using proper VW wire colors and stuff like we like to do. So yeah, that's all wired in there now. So yeah, this is our wiring here. This is not. Ugh. Anyway, but yeah, so getting a few things done on this car. So one of the next things, actually one of the last things we need to do on this car, is getting pretty close, is these are, of course, electric seats. If you're new to the channel, these were supplied by the owner. They're out of a BMW. We reupholstered them. We deleted the headrests and had some perforated vinyl made up for them and reupholstered them, our upholstery guy. But anyway, they're fully electric. So I need to run some wires for those up to underneath where they mount, and so those will be connected, and then I'll go ahead and mount them in the car. But I want to go ahead and run the wires first up underneath the carpet and stuff there and there. So yeah, this car is actually getting pretty close now. So slowly but surely checking things off the list. So probably what you guys are all waiting for, if you saw the thumbnail is this. So I have to give the disclaimer that it's only in here temporarily so that we can mock some things up. It does need to come out again. Like I don't even think we have a throwout bearing on the transmission right now. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and put that in because we need to do a few things. One is we needed to figure out the routing of the choke cable from the front all the way into the custom bracket and stuff that we made for there up through the front engine tin, which is on the firewall side there. And then we are going to mount a full flow oil filter up underneath here somewhere. So we got to figure that out, and then figure out if you'll even be able to see this. Yeah, the hoses that'll come from the pump and then return to the case. So yeah, we got some things that we got to figure out. So we said, you know what, let's go ahead and put the motor in the car. We can iron out these last few details as far as, you know, mounting that filter, the hoses, all that good stuff. And then pretty much at that point, the motor can come back out. It can go on the test stand, and we will fire this puppy up and do the cam brake in. Hopefully all goes well. And then for real, it'll go in, and this thing is going to be about ready to rock and roll down the street. Brakes are done, wiring's done, steering, you name it, pretty much done. So once we finish mock-up, pull this out, start it, do the cam brake in, etc., pretty much it can go back in for real. So very exciting. This thing is moving right along. Been a very big project, and the motor, lots and lots of bespoke parts that we've been putting on here, and hard to find things and stuff like that. So really taking a long time, but we are enjoying the process a lot. So super fun to do something with some somewhat unique old school parts like this, and try and make it all look like it goes together instead of just a bunch of parts thrown at an engine. Oh, we're having a good time with it. And Andy, if you see this, thank you again for trusting us with your baby here and letting us kind of go wild with it. We're certainly having a good time. So that's pretty much it for this one for today. So this one got some goodies. Actually, got those Friday, I think, but I just today had time to put them in. So new air cleaner elements. Whew. The ones that were in there were just very terrible, and I feel like they were starting to come apart. I saw some evidence of that in the carburetor on the, you know, like inside the air cleaners. So they look terrible. And also, this car did not have any velocity stacks on the carburetors. Tend to not run as well or as smooth or make as much power as they should. And it's a very well known fact that velocity stacks really increase the performance of a motor. I don't know why he didn't have them on there, but it has them now. So I need to take it for a spin and make sure that it's, you know, I don't think it's going to need jetting changes or anything, but we'll see anyway. It should run much smoother and make a few extra ponies now. Finally finished that. Let's see here. So that is the main thing that happened to this one today. So this beauty here today, he was having an issue where if you turn the steering wheel all the way, say one direction, and then, you know, kind of keep like turning it a little bit, the steering wheel would actually not the steering wheel, but something in the steering would actually like rotate a little bit. And then if you steered the other way, full lock, and then kind of turn the wheel some more, you could kind of feel it like slip in that direction. So one of the steering couplers must have been a little bit loose. I tightened them both up a lot. They were already very tight. Tightened them up some more. That issue seems to be gone now. And then I had to re-straighten out his steering wheel. And then while I was driving the car around, I noticed that his horn wasn't working, so I fixed that. It seemed to be an issue with the brush up underneath there. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Yeah, the horn brush is up under there. I'll take my word for it. So yeah, kind of monkeyed around with that. And then out of the 4 turn signals on this car, 2 in the back, 2 in the front, only one of them was working. This one had a blown out bulb. and the front two, the bullets, they just weren't really making great grounds. If you kind of like would turn the turn signals on and kind of, you know, futz with the housing a little bit, they would start working. So I improved the grounds on both of those, so it's got great turn signals now. So horn, turn signals, all that good stuff. While I'm out here, why don't we see what Renee was doing today? So Renee just went ahead and worked on the front fender today on this one, and took it down to bare metal and started knocking dents out and stuff like that, and then did a skim coat on it, and he's got like a guide coat on here now, so I guess he'll probably do a little bit of blocking on it. Probably wait until the whole side of the car is done and then block it. So you see he's got a guide coat on everything. But yeah, he's continuing to work on this. The main thing that he did today though was he did the undercoating on the tennis ball, as we like to call it here. So yeah, this is all undercoated now, all up underneath here. So that was kind of the main thing he worked on today, and then just at the end of the day he worked on that gear a little bit. But this is exciting because now this car can pretty much is very, very close to coming into our shop where we actually start the build process. Our upholstery guy Santiago is going to start on the padding and the carpet. I think tomorrow he can probably knock that out in like a day or so. So yeah, just going to start seeing tons of progress on this thing, especially once it comes into our shop. Let's see, what else, guys? Back to this one for a minute. His Viper alarm. You guys remember Viper from back in the day when people were installing aftermarket car alarms on all their cars here? Yeah, these guys, Viper. I think there's even a picture of a snake on the box. It shows you how awesome it is. Where is it? There it is. Ooh, look at that. Like, so scary. Don't mess with this car. Viper. Yeah, so I started figuring out the wiring on this today and went and hooked it up to my handy dandy 12-volt battery and started testing out functions and stuff like that. I think I pretty much got it figured out. It's going to be a relatively simple installation in this car. I do have to call their tech support. I have one question about one function that I'm not sure about. It's not doing what I think it should do, and I don't know if I'm just misinterpreting what that function is supposed to do, but it's basically the function of disconnecting the starter, or I may hook it up to disconnect the coil power. We'll see. But one way or the other, those outputs are not behaving the way I expect them to when I put an ohm meter across them. So got to figure that out. But other than that, pretty much ready to install that system on here. That was their request. So I think that is pretty much it for today, guys. So lots going on here as usual, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.